as promised, don't know if you saw my guest co-star. He just walked off camera. He's a little camera shy. That's my cat. But welcome to week 7, guys. And as promised, we're still talking about the diet. We're going to be talking about the diet for a few weeks. So we're going to build upon the concept that we brought forth last week, where we were talking about the diet as a very valuable utility. Just as important as the electricity that powers your house. It's basically what's going to fuel the electrical grid in your body. So, what we want to focus on this week, before we start figuring out exactly what you should do with your diet, we first need to come to terms with things that we should not do. Elimination is the easiest path to creating some immediate result, because it's not requiring additional action, it's just requiring subtraction. So we're going to continue to work on these subtractive principles. So what's the first thing that we're going to eliminate? That's the theme of this week. We're going to eliminate processed foods and sugars. Now, today, your homework assignment is going to be to Google what are some of the effects of too much processed foods and sugars? Too many processed foods and sugars. Guys, your body is not designed to run on processed foods. You'll find in your research, just to give you a heads up, what you're going to find, that over long term, that consuming too much processed foods and sugars can lead to diabetes, cancer, heart disease. Well, really, I don't need to say any more than that. I mean, that just hit. I know everybody knows at least one person that has suffered from one of those 3 things. Probably almost every single person in the whole population. And that's a real problem. And we can't change everybody. But we can start by influencing ourselves. By first creating some awareness, as we talked about last week, of what can be harmful and subtracting it. So processed foods and sugars, we're starting with this because it could be the most important. And if you can really make this change, you'll see that a lot of things are okay to eat. So we're not going to get into what your body specifically needs to run on, how you should eat. Don't worry about having the perfect breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Don't worry about eliminating everything at once this week. Eliminate one thing the first day, one thing the second day, one thing the first week, one thing the second week, one thing the first month, one thing the second month. You get the idea. Go as slow or as fast as you need. You know, if you're already a pretty healthy eater and you just have a couple holes in your diet, maybe you don't feel like you need to improve much, but maybe this can be a time where you say, I'm going to go that extra mile and really clean up the whole thing, because every measure that you improve, you'll see some positive benefit to your level of health. I do a pretty good job, but I'm also working on some things with this week, and in general. There are ways I can clean everything up. Basically, my philosophy for myself is if it isn't naturally occurring, then I don't want to put it in my body. And so basically, if you eliminate processed foods and sugars, then what's left over is pretty close to that. So you don't really have to work that hard in terms of finding what are the right things to do. A lot of times, if you just eliminate what the wrong things to do are, you'll get where you're going, or where you want to go. Hope this helps, guys. Tomorrow we are going to get more specific into what exactly some of those things look like, so you know what to avoid, and we will talk about that tomorrow.